Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan cast. Max, how you doing tonight, my brother?
Doing good, man. Everything's kind of going smoothly so far, so no complaints from Max. Happy 4th of July weekend, everybody. Like, hopefully you have Monday and Tuesday off. I'd only have Tuesday off. But hey, I'm the
That's
boss.
tough.
I can kind of do whatever I want. So fuck it. Maybe we'll be close tomorrow.
And they've been missing us for a while. We've been gone for about a week and a half. I took my little vacation after Max. I'm feeling good.
Juan's
I
honeymoon.
got a little tan going on.
You
Got a
do.
little
You do
tan,
look tan. You do
a
look tan.
little browner than usual. But it was cool, man. It was cool. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like the video, comment down below if you guys want to do that. Everything is good with us. It brings us more exposure. We just want to say thank you, bro. We've been doing pretty good with the views, man. So kind of feel, some type of way that us going a little, off the grid for about a week and a half, because you guys been absolutely killing it, man, with these episodes. We've been getting, somewhere in the echelon of like 100 views, and we're not used to that, bro. Like, we're cool with,
No.
with what we get. So we appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate any new subscribers that we have. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, just wanted to start the podcast off with that. But as you guys know, if you guys have been living under a rock, it is NBA free agency, man. Free agency just opened up. What was it? Friday, Max? Was it Friday that it opened?
Yeah, but it was June 30th. So yeah, Friday. Friday's the
Yeah,
day.
Friday. So
But
Friday it
like, come
officially
on.
opened. Yeah. Come on.
Wednesday we knew.
Wednesday we did new, but NBA free agency recap, man. We have enough signings to talk about. We got Lakers, we got Suns, we got Damian Lillard, trade talk, trade requests, should I say. We got LaMelo Ball signing contract extensions and a couple other guys that signed contract extensions. So we're gonna be talking all about that, man. So hope you guys enjoy this one. There's no other place to start off, bro, than the Lakers. We have to. We're from LA. We're Laker fans. They're the most active team in free agency so far. I believe we got to start there, Max. What are your thoughts so far about the recent activity from the Los Angeles Lakers this free agency?
I really like it, one. I really like it. It reminds me of a couple years ago. Alex Caruso hit free agency, a fan favorite. We were like, oh, he's coming back. And he wasn't. But I feel like the Lakers corrected that when they re-signed Austin Reeves. And if you don't mind, I can go over the moves real quick just so people know what we're talking about. Austin Reeves re-signs with the Lakers, 4 for 56. Ruiz coming back, 3 for 51. D'Lo, 2 for 37. And then we got some new guys coming in. So the new guys are Gabe Vincent, Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes, Torian Prince. I feel like Rui Hachimura earned that contract over a 3-week period in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't playing that much at the end of the year, unless my memory is fading, because don't remember him having any good as games in the regular season as he's at the playoffs. Like from this game 1 in Memphis to game 4 against Denver, he was the Lakers' arguably third or fourth best player.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a go-to scorer at times for the Lakers, as crazy as that sounds. And he had the duty, Max, of I know they got swept in that series, but he was guarding Jokic. Like, they said, hey, bro, go ahead and guard Jokic for us. Like, that's a huge task. That's arguably the best player in basketball. So he definitely earned a contract over the playoff span. I'm kind of scared about it, honestly. I really am. I know the number's not like huge, but it's still a good little, it's still a good little chunk. It's still a good little chunk for a guy in Rui Hachimura who hasn't really proved himself beyond that playoffs.
Yeah, he was a bit disappointing in Washington. I mean, I was happy when Lakers got him because we traded, a guy who didn't do anything for us for a guy with a lot of upside. And the fact remains he's young, he's big, he has a good set of skills, and he's in a good situation where he doesn't have to be anything more than a role player, maybe a role player plus one. And one thing you have to consider with this is, hey, we're old school. And I know that sounds like, we're 27, 28. we're used to guys who are average players getting what, 8 million a year, but I think it's just inflation. I think it's just, hey,
Yeah.
this is what good players get now. 17 is not really the outrageous number we used to think it was.
Yeah. And teams with the whole new CBA with that second apron uh rule or whatever. So some guys are coming off the market and signing for low amounts of money. Like we got a guy in Cam Reddish who signed for the vet minimum, 2 years, $4.6 million.
Which is
Uh
just a great move. You just take a flyer on
Great.
a guy, kind of like Lonnie Walker last year, high lottery
Yeah.
pick, high talent. I don't think there's anything wrong with just throwing a flyer out there. And it's like
Yeah.
it's young. Same thing with Jackson Hayes, one really talented, good talented player who hasn't necessarily been good, hasn't been bad, but I like youth. I'd rather this than
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony of 2 years ago.
Yeah, most definitely. And the I would say three things that come out to me, Max, is number one, you nailed it on the head. Austin Reeves, 4 for 56.
That's
Uh,
everything they could have offered him. That's as
right.
high as they could have got, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So I love Austin Reeves. He is not just a shooter, he's a playmaker. He's a pick and roll guy who can create offense off the dribble, which is huge in this league. He's not the most terrible player on defense. He has hustle, and to top it all off, he can shoot. So he does a lot for the Lakers, man. Me and Max are in the company of like we thought Reeves should have been a little bit more involved in that last playoff run, more than he should have. Like I think they kind of shied away from him at times, and I felt like
Well,
he
I
kept
think
on
he
proving.
he had his up and downs, but I mean, it's his first playoffs. Like, first of all, I don't want to give too much away one because of what we got in the worst, but this was a guy who was an afterthought last year. This year, it was
Yeah,
kind of like, ooh, maybe he'll be fun and maybe we'll get something out of him. I didn't expect this. If you told me at the start of last year, hey, Austin Reeves is going to sign a 4-year, $50 million contract, I'm like, how bad were the Lakers?
yeah,
Like, what happened?
yeah. He just seems to make the right play every single time he has the ball in his hands. Like
Correct.
I think that's simply put for Austin Reeves, and he kind of has the same thing as the Caruso effect, like you were alluding to earlier. Like just one of those guys that you will love to have. And Lakers learn from their mistake. They got a guy in Austin Reeves who's arguably probably a little bit more valuable than Caruso because he's an actual like scorer. I think that was always the backlash of Caruso of not keeping him. Like he's not a scoring threat like Austin Reeves. He's just more of like like we like to call him the ultimate role player, just defense hustle plays and can shoot just a little bit. But Austin Reeves brings a little bit more to the table offensively, which is super
Yeah.
valuable in the league.
And we kept another guy, one of your favorites, D'Lo. I love the contract, 2 for 37. It's not outrageous. It's short term.
So
For throwing 5 years, 100 million, I'm like, hell no, don't do it. But
yeah,
this is a guy you like more than me, and I have no
yeah.
problem with this deal. I think it's a fair deal because D'Lo's type of guy, he can win you a game or he can really lose you a game. He's really inconsistent.
Yeah, it's tough because the last time we saw him, he had a rough Western Conference Finals. Rough, like it was
But
bad.
he was good before that. I
Yeah,
don't want
no,
to
he was
I don't want
great.
to say, yeah, like let's not do this thing where we're saying we're not going to resign a guy because he had 4 bad games. D'Angelo Russell is a good player in the NBA. He's
Mhm.
better for this team than Russell Westbrook by miles. I'm not trying to throw shots at Russ, but for today's NBA, more teams would have D'Angelo Russell than Russell Westbrook. That's a
Yeah, he
fact. And
fits.
then he fits
he-
exactly.
yeah, he fits. He fits the LeBron prototype, like guys that can catch and shoot, dude. And
Well, it's not just catch and shoot too. One, it's about guys who can kind of do more on offense. Because hey, one, I don't want to go into next year saying, "Oh man, LeBron's got to score 30 a game for Lakers to have a
yeah,
chance." No, I think this is the most scoring talent he's had on his team, especially if Rui Austin can kind of use the playoff run to springboard them into next year. We didn't even talk about Gabe Vincent yet, who's going to be on Lakers for 3 years, who's a good 3-and-D guy, and he balled in the playoffs. Man, he's tough.
and that
Miami
brings that
culture.
that brings me to my third. And you said it, Gabe Vincent, who essentially got uh picked over Dennis Schroeder. He's the Dennis Schroeder replacement. That's what it comes down to. A backup point guard potentially that plays defense and can shoot the ball. Like that's Dennis Schroeder for you.
And Schroeder's going to Toronto. He got his bag. He got 13 a year. I'm going to miss Schroeder one, but I think Gabe Vincent brings the energy, maybe a little less, you know, head scratching play at times.
Yeah.
and you kind of you lose some creation, but you get more defense because Vincent's a good defender. He's bigger,
Yeah.
so I like the move. I mean, I don't mind losing Schroeder for that. It wasn't like, hey, we lost Schroeder for fucking, I don't know, Patty Mills. I would have been like, I don't really like that. I don't like that fit.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rob Pelinka got in his bag, bro. And looks like that Kyrie ship sailed really quick. I think that's
I
why
guess he's not taking the
immediately,
veterans minimum. I think he'll just take
yeah.
fifth
Because
wherever they're giving it.
immediately right after that contract signing of with the Mavs, that D'Lo news came out like right after.
Quick. Yeah.
So yeah,
Very
it
quick.
was really quick. So they had a backup plan. And honestly, I like it. Look, I wasn't a big fan of the whole Kyrie situation. I know Max was. He wanted Kyrie, but I really am glad that they ended up signing D'Lo and having a little bit upgrades here and there, like with the Gabe Vincent situation. The one thing that scares me with this whole thing is that, and I know they're not finished yet,
That Anthony
is
Davis is still made out of glass or something different.
not only that, but they don't have really no size like for a big man. And I
I
feel
got
like
Jackson
that's
Hayes. He's solid, but are you going to trust him to be the backup
no,
center on the
no,
team?
no. And they released Mo Bamba, who they might re-sign for less money coming up.
Which
But
is fine. I mean, bring him back for like again, it's whatever. Yeah, you look at the team one. There's really not a lot of size outside of AD Jackson. I get what you mean. There's not like a 6'9" wing. I mean, that's Cam
like,
Reddish, I guess. But again, do we really factor those guys into the rotation? Like Rui? What about Rui? You'd factor him in for
yeah, he
size
has
or
size. He has size. Vanderbilt has size.
yeah,
But
fair.
this is my thing though, Max. It's like
When AD
who's
gets hurt, when
not only that, but who are we chasing here? Who are we chasing? It's Denver. Everyone's
Denver.
chasing Denver. And it looks like we didn't really fill that hole of trying to slow down Jokic somewhat. Because we know,
Yeah,
like,
but Denver's going to be weaker. Denver's going to get weaker. I mean, shout out to Bruce Brown. I love that he's coming back to run it back, but he didn't. Shout out to that. At the parade. When alcohol's involved, don't trust what people
yeah,
say. I mean, Bruce Brown's got it back from the Pacers. He took the money for sure, which he deserves, rightfully so. 2 for
yeah,
45. But they
yeah.
lost him. They lost him. They lost Jeff Green, who was playing for them, and Denver's going to get a little weaker one. That's what happens when you win a championship. Good players kind of leave. They get paid, and
Yeah.
I mean that's all you can really say at this point. And there's so many
I was
things that can
hoping
go into it.
I was hoping that Bruce Brown would sign with the Lakers. I did see like some interest in between the two,
Yeah,
but
but for that price, there was no way. And I want to say one thing, about the Kyrie thing. You said you loved that you didn't pay him the $40 million. I would rather have the moves we did than just allocating all that money to Kyrie Irving. Like if you
yeah,
told me I had to choose
agreed.
between Reeves, Rui, and D'Lo, or I can have Kyrie, I take the quantity. I think the Lakers learned their lesson with Russ.
And maybe I didn't say that the last time we talked because I know we had a debate about that, the whole Kyrie D'Lo. I can't remember if I did say that about the whole like salary thing, but that's what like a lot of it had to do with. Like I didn't want to invest so much into Kyrie. Like I'm like, I know D'Lo's inconsistent, and I know like you said it best. He can win you games, but he can lose you games. I just feel like D'Lo is just, bring him back. We know what he can do in the offense. We know what he can do on this team. It's just better just to roll with him. And they brought the band back together, which I'm a big fan of. And the window is
Yeah.
now. The window is a 1-year thing. We don't know what LeBron's going to do next year. We don't know what Anthony Davis's value is going to be next year. This is it. This is it right now. And the only team standing in your way is really Denver. Like
I
I
would say Phoenix a little bit. You
Phoenix
got to
too,
factor
but
Phoenix in. But yeah,
Phoenix,
Phoenix is such an unknown at this point.
right, right.
And they're getting lucky because they have guys who are ring chasing. Like Eric Gordon took a massive underpay. I think I'm going to see what he took right now. I think he took 2 for 6. But other than that, they have like who's their point guard? Cameron Payne, Josh Okogie. One injury, they're screwed. So Phoenix is in a precarious spot. I agree with you. You're really fighting Denver, maybe Golden State. They kept
Golden State.
Draymond for 4 more years, which is
Let's
not surprising.
let's go ahead and hit Golden State, man, because the draft went on while we're gone. Some trades went under the table while we're gone. Let's talk about the Chris Paul trade. What do you think? Chris Paul to the Golden State Warriors for Jordan Poole.
It's not that I think the trade's bad, because what I think they're gonna want to do more is kind of play like Curry at Davidson. And by that I mean, hey, they don't always have to run high screen and roll. They'll let Curry play off the ball some. But what I don't get with Chris Paul is, do you think that he stays on the Warriors? Do you think they flip him because is he still going to be a backup point guard? Like, yeah, he'd be good at it. I guess it's better than Jordan Poole. I guess he has like some leadership, maybe. I don't really see how he fits in. Like, I don't really think he moves the needle, right? That's
You
the
don't
best
think
way to
so?
say it. Do you think he moves the needle? Because I mean, they do. Like, don't you think losing DiVincenzo might hurt them more than getting Chris Paul?
Yeah, most definitely. But I do like the value that they got back from Poole, because I think Poole was done as far as being a Warrior. As far as
Well,
being a Warrior.
I don't think they got a lot of value back from him. I think they got a guy who was going to get cut. Like this, and Chris Paul's still good. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
And I get, you get the salary and you could trade that into expiring bullshit. But let's not make it like Chris Paul was this really big thing that we couldn't wait to have.
Mhm.
Like, he was going to
It's
be a
gonna be
free agent.
interesting. It's gonna be interesting, but
Like, what do
I
you think
have
he adds to their team?
I think he adds to a little bit of the area of like elbow, short elbow, in that whole area that Draymond
Yeah,
be patrolling.
do you think Steve Kerr talks him into like an Iguodala thing where it's like, hey, dude, like, you're a Hall of Famer, but just be a six man. Have you ever had it so easy? Like, imagine you're the sixth man on this team.
Yeah.
Imagine you get to come in for 20. We're going to keep you fresh all year. You play 25 a night. You're going to win 6 Man of the Year. You close out some games and some matchups. Like,
You
is
don't
that
think
the
he'll start?
talk?
You don't think he'll
No, I
start?
don't think he's. So the starting lineup would be Looney, Draymond Green, Steph, Chris, and Clay.
Yeah.
No Wiggins?
I don't see why
I think they're too
not.
small like that. I think they're too small for that. I think you got to go Wiggins just so you have a defender, because
What if
Clay's not a
Draymond
good
comes off
defender.
the bench?
You really think he'll buy it more than
He
Chris
did
Paul?
it. He'll do it.
I mean,
He
for
did
one
it.
series, he was right back in
I
it.
f- I feel like Draymond will be full game for that. I would start Chris. I would start Chris.
How about
I think
this?
it can
The
work.
matchup predicates who will start. You know what I mean? Like, if you're playing a little
Yeah.
bit bigger of a team, you kind of go with Draymond. But if you're going
Well,
like
let's
really small
well let's
team,
say this. Let's say this. Who finishes? I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
oh,
Who finishes?
I would assume they would all like Chris, Steph, Wiggins, Draymond, Paul. But again, the only problem one that I'm seeing is you have three bad defenders. Or not bad, three subpar. You have
And
Steph
Clay's
who's
not even.
subpar, Clay subpar, and Chris Paul at this stage in their career.
Yeah.
Like,
The,
we agree, Clay's not the defensive team member he used to be.
no.
Okay.
Draymond's still really good.
Mhm.
Wiggins is still pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think it can work. I think it can work with a guy like Steph. Just him off all the shit and attention that gets brought up with Steph Curry with playing with him. I think it's going to open up a lot of shit in the middle of the court for Chris Paul. And are we going to see the Chris Paul, the high pick and roll? Fuck no. Like, that's not going to work. If he's going to come there and going to want to do that, his ass is getting traded in January off top. Like, there's no fucking way that is going to work. He's going to have to change up his game, and he's going to have to fit in with them more than them fitting in with him. That's
I
how I
like how
feel
you said that one. And he could make some tweaks to his game where it comes to 3-point shooting. He could kind of just really work on spot up. I think that pick and roll stuff will be there one, but it'll be spurts. You know what I mean? Maybe second
Yeah, with the
unit.
second unit.
And
Yeah.
I think they'd love to play Steph off the ball a little bit more. In the
Yeah.
regular season. Like, let's just let's get him some time. And for Jordan Poole, you get to go to the Wizards. You're going to be the starting point guard. It's a rebuilding team. Have your fun. You and Kuz can jack up as many shots as you like.
And safe to say that punch ended Jordan Poole's Warrior career
Yeah,
for
I think
good.
he was off the whole year.
Yeah, he looked terrible, dude, in that last series against the Lakers. It was really bad. So they moved off Jordan Poole. They got Chris Paul. Like Max said, I agree with him as far as like this might be just a rental until January or February. Get what you can at the trade deadline for Chris Paul because of the expiring. But we'll see,
Yeah, he
man. We'll
could just
see.
facilitate something.
Yeah, I don't know where he'll go, but Golden State is definitely going all in. Similar to like the Lakers. Like I think their window is short too. Because
I
when is
love the
Clay?
move to get him though. I think that's a smart, like it's a
Yeah,
smart
yeah.
hedge. Like,
Because last year, the last couple years they've been fucking up because they put all their chips into these young guys, and half of them fucking sucked. Let's just be real. Half of them suck, or
hey,
half of them just
shout out to 7-2 Kaminga, maybe. Whatever that
7-2
means. That's
Kuminga.
what they say.
But Wiseman is out of there. Moody is not all that good, but he
No.
was yeah, come on. Like there's a
Moody,
lot of
they've
guys
all
that
been
they
kind of
flopped on.
underwhelming. And to be honest, they haven't really been given chances too. Because you
True.
have the weird COVID year, and then they're right back to contending, and
Well, it's
it's like,
Steve
hey,
Kerr. Like, do you blame
yeah.
Steve Kerr? It's like
No, of course
I'm
not. You
gonna
won a championship
yeah,
last year. Yeah, why would
exactly.
you?
And to top it all off, Max, like I'm dying with Curry, Draymond, and Clay. Like I'm not gonna back off of those guys. And I'm glad
No,
that
that's the
Draymond,
Spurs.
yeah,
I would ride them till the wheels fell off.
yeah,
That's how, like, I think that's the respect you give to the guys who've got you 4 chips and
yeah.
put you on the map.
The question, the reign ends for the Warriors when that situation comes up with Clay about money. I think that's when it's gonna get tricky. But for now, they're paying Draymond, Steph, everyone's good. They got Chris Paul. We're gonna go all in this year and see what happens. And no Lake Up, right? I think is Lake Up gone or the
No,
GM?
Lacob's there. Oh man, Bob Myers is gone,
Bob
the
Myers
architect
is
of the
gone.
team, which is
Right.
a pretty big thing because he was arguably the best GM in basketball for 10
Right.
years.
So who knows? Like, does Bob Myers do this deal?
That's
That's
something to
yeah,
think about.
because someone else is running things there. So looking a little bit different for the
So,
Warriors, man.
do you want to hit some of the trade? Like we already hit this trade. Do you want to just stay on the trades real
Yeah.
quick? There's some
Yeah.
small ones and there's like some good ones I'd like to talk about.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Patty Mills of the Thunder. Who cares, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. I guess you have to have someone above the age of 25.
Mhm.
Obi Toppin to the Pacers. Kind of surprising, a little bit.
Yeah.
I liked him
Hey
in New
man,
York.
just throw it up. Throw it up.
So which one do you want to get to?
Let's
Porzingis,
get to the
John
big one.
Collins, or Fat Fuck Harden is what I put in
Let,
the notes.
no, let's get the big one. Let's go Chris Stops and Marcus Smart. So Chris Stops traded to the Celtics. Then he signed a 2-year extension for $30 million. And of course, Marcus Smart gets traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. Thoughts on this one, Max?
So is Marcus Smart gonna just go there to be the adult in the room and add some tough? I actually like the trade for Marcus
I
Smart.
like
So I
it. I
guess
like it.
I guess in a perfect world, he slides in right next to John Morant. So you have John Morant, Bane, Smart, Jaren, and Adams, which I like. I think that's a good group. I think it was smart for the Celtics to trade Smart. I know he's the heart and soul of your team, but they had to have some type of subtraction from one of the guards. Like White was really good. Brown, you're going to give him $50 million a year. He's not going anywhere. Tatum, obviously, is Jason Tatum,
Yeah.
and they get like what I like about Porzingis is they get a 7-3 guy who can shoot threes, defend a little bit. Obviously, you have to worry about the availability, but I think Porzingis is a solid pickup for them. I'd like the trade. I like it for both.
Yeah.
I think it's a win-win trade.
Yeah. I did like it too because I like the fit with Marcus Smart. I think if anyone could get Marcus Smart and be a fit, it's gonna be the Memphis Grizzlies. Like I couldn't see any other team
Tony
like
Allen 2.0.
yeah,
Maybe.
Tony Allen. I know it's fucking deja vu right there, but I think it comes down to the age of Al Horford. Like they need a guy similar to Al Horford because he's been playing for the Celtics, it seems like for fucking 10 years already. And
Yeah,
like
had
when
that
is this
one
fuck
brief stop in
when is he
fucking
gonna die?
OKC.
Like when is he gonna die? It's gonna happen. Like the play of him is gonna go down at some point or another. So
Yeah,
that's what Porzingis comes in. Like he's
yeah,
Al Horford.
and they have some good chess. They have some good chess pieces. Like you got Robert Williams, shot blocker, big man, rebound, and you kind of have the finesse guy in Porzingis who can shoot, create a little bit. And I think it's just a fun little piece for them, man. I think he'll be better fit next to Horford. Tatum and Brown. Because you want the ball in those two guys' hands. Anytime Marcus Smart has the ball, you're like, I don't really want your hand.
Yeah. But for the Memphis Grizzlies, I think them losing Tyus Jones, I think that was pretty big, and them getting Marcus Smart kind of lessened the blow because Morant's going to
And
be
for
out for some
25
games.
games. Yeah, 25
Exactly.
games of Ja, not having him there.
Yeah.
So this is one of the rare times I'd say win-win. Like really, truly.
Yeah, it was a fair trade up and down, bro. Let's talk about John Collins. John Collins traded
Finally,
to the Jazz for a second round pick or two
for
second round picks.
two, I believe. I think
Uh,
that's kind of telling. I think that Atlanta was like, hey, something needs to change. Uh,
yeah, it
John
needed
Collins
to
is
be
a good
done.
basketball player, but I guess you just get something by him leaving. Like you just
Yeah,
maybe fix the chemistry of this team.
yeah,
Because it wasn't working. Was not
right.
working.
100%. 100%.
And I think we could say that Eastern Conference Finals they made was more to do with Philadelphia than them.
Yeah. Let's talk about Philadelphia, man. They didn't make much headlines with much besides James Harden opting in to his contract and having a
For the
trade
sole
request.
purpose, yeah, for the sole purpose of getting traded. You're a fucking loser. That's all I want to say. You're just a loser, dude. I hope you
Yeah.
never win. Everyone's going to say, Max, you hate James Harden. I think it's rightfully so. This guy, and I want to just Lillard one. Hey, this is a guy who for 11 years has been the heart and soul of the Trailblazers, arguably since a rookie when he hit the game-winning shot on Harden's face. It wasn't on him, but against his team, no less. So this is a guy who did it for 11 years, went to the management, waited to see what they would do. Then he requested a trade, said, hey, I'd like to go to Miami. No, they said Portland's not going to honor the request, which I think is a little fucked up because I think you could at least do it unless they're not giving you shit. But here's a guy who has everything handed to him on a silver platter. And hey, yeah, guys, he took a pay cut last year. You know why he took a pay cut? He's not that good anymore. He's really not the same. Did you see that he'll command $50 million next year? They said, who the fuck in their right mind would give this loser $50 million?
The Rockets.
Have fun. Have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
You can tie that into the Rockets one because they made a
Mhm.
lot of freaking moves, spending a lot of money on Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet, Jeff Green. Again, hey, me and you talked about this before the show one. Dylan Brooks. Hey, he's not in Shanghai, guys. He got $20 million. Who's laughing?
Yeah. He's still look,
He's a good player.
he
He's a
he's a
good
good
player.
player.
We made
He
fun of
is
him.
Yeah, he is very stupid for doing what he did, the antics in the playoffs. It was really dumb on his part, and he looked really dumb at the end of it. But at the end of the day, like Dylan Brooks is still a solid
All
to
defensive team.
good, yeah, solid to good NBA player. And for him to be out of the league, like no fucking way, it wasn't gonna happen. I'm not surprised at all
If
that
Russell
he
Westbrook hasn't played himself out of the league, Dylan Brooks. I mean, he averaged 14 a game while playing all NBA defense last year. Yeah, he can't shoot from three that well. You know what? 20 million might be an overpay, but I think the Rockets are trying to get moving in the right direction. Now, I don't see how all the pieces fit. Like Fred VanVleet one, that's a little bit too much money for my taste.
yeah.
I don't get
And
that one.
yeah. That was a guy that the Lakers were potentially looking at with Fred
I'm glad we
VanVleet.
didn't get him for that much.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. I don't know if it's good for Houston because I feel like maybe they're trying to be attractive for James Harden. And going back on the James Harden thing, I completely agree with you. He's a fucking loser. Um, I can't believe it, but at the same time, I can like that he's doing
This is
this.
him.
Yeah, it's him. Like
This,
it's such a James Harden thing to do. And it's just, oh my God, like what I wanted to ask you this, Max, and potentially like have like a video about it. But like, what does the NBA do to fix this as far as like
what?
these
Fix
trade
what?
requests? Like the way that these players move, like it doesn't matter anymore that you're under contract. It doesn't matter at all in the NBA. Everyone is free for grabs. Everybody.
Do you think the NBA is kind of like, you know how AYSO soccer, like the youth. You know how like now it's like there no one, everyone gets a trophy. Like that
Yeah,
is that what the
yeah,
NBA is, where it's like, do you want to get traded, bud? We'll trade you, no problem. Where if you look at the NFL, they're like, you want to get traded, dog? Fuck you. It's only on our
yeah,
you get traded on our terms. I think the NBA needs a little bit more tough love because first of all, I mean, I get how he's kind of doing them a solid by, hey, trade me so you can get something back, but you're not getting shit back for him. You're not going to get nothing really great.
yeah,
Like, hey, you think Portland's like, hey, we'll trade us Harden? Yeah, we'll take Dame. Yeah, for sure. Sounds great. No. They're going to get maybe one role player for Harden and a pick, maybe. They're not getting anything like the Denver Nuggets got for Carmelo when they traded him.
mhm.
It's a joke because these GMs are too scared to say, you know what, fucking leave. Like, hey, you think if Harden stayed, let me just ask you, if Harden stayed one, do you think the Sixers were really going to win next year with the way he plays every year in the postseason?
No,
Not really.
no.
So why the fuck do you even care? Let him fucking leave.
That's why
Why do
I'm
you
really
want some
interested to
fucking
see though.
baby? He's a
I'm because
fucking loser.
well, Daryl Morley, he did this with Ben Simmons.
But Ben Simmons wasn't his guy. They have a long relationship.
Him and
But
James, yeah,
yeah, I mean, I thought Daryl Morey should have got GM for the year for not trading Ben Simmons like right away for like pennies on the dollar.
yeah,
But I just don't get it. Like, if I was James Harden, where else are you gonna go to win a championship? Like, why do you have to be such a fucking runaway when shit gets tough? Like,
yeah,
whenever the tough shit happens, here Harden's like, I can't be here for this.
yeah. I feel like there has to be some type of incentive besides a player getting paid more money because this is the way that they do it. It's just a loophole around it. There needs to be something for the team, whether it's, hey, if we keep you, like, you're a little bit less on the cap because you've been staying here for so long, like a guy like Steph or a guy like
I like that.
Giannis
That's
who,
a great idea, Juan. How about
yeah, it
this?
has to be
When you
something.
sign a 4-year contract, can't get traded for 2 years. You're like, oh, you're stuck here for 2 years minimum.
Yeah,
I got no problem if a guy has 1 year left on his contract and wants to change the scenery. I get that.
yeah, yeah.
But when you got guys signing 5-year contracts and they're like, oh, ugh, this
Bradley
sucks. Let's
Bill.
get. Oh no, no. Leave Bradley Beal alone. He was there for like 8 years of that shit. But again, I think that's a great idea. One where it's like, hey, if franchise guys, because here's the problem with the NBA. Once you get into that, I'm getting 35 or 30% of my team's cap.
Right.
That's when it gets really fucking hard to make a team.
Yeah.
Because the key is you get some really good players while they're all cheap, so then you can go over the cap. And yeah, I know they're trying to make it more even and shit. It's never going to be even. It won't be because you have
Yeah.
players willing to compromise their value just to win a ring.
Yeah. It
It'll
has to
never be
be
even.
it has to be something, Max, because it's hard to find that middle ground. Because I don't think by any means they should do what the NFL does, because that's too much power for the owners and the GMs with the
Yeah, there's got to
franchise
be
tag.
some Yeah, there's got to be a medium here. I
Yeah,
think the franchise tag for a year I think the franchise tag would work better for basketball than football
you think so?
because I think it would like maybe 1 year. So like right now, Harden wants to like fucking place up the player option and we'll like, hey, let's tag him for next year so he's on our team just to give us a little more value in trading for him.
Mhm.
Because these guys are just like, hey, we can do whatever we want. I want to leave. Let's go.
That's what it comes
Hey,
down
I
to.
just want to sit out. And here's another thing, Juan. We don't incent like the money is no incentive. Who gives a fuck about $40 million? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I know I sound like
yeah.
an idiot, but like, hey, what's the difference between 160 and 200? You think the players care? Hey,
Mhm.
Juan, would you rather work in fucking Green Bay, Wisconsin in the freezing cold or live in LA for 30 million? You're still gonna be rich. Where do you want to
Yeah,
go?
right. LA. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like if a guy like Giannis, which they're already talking about it, but like a guy like Giannis can get traded today if he really wanted to. He can get traded. And it's a guy that's under contract and can switch the whole fucking like allegiance of the NBA right
Yeah,
now, dude.
the whole
Like,
landscape would change.
yeah, dude, it's absolutely insane to me. And James Harden is a guy that just doesn't make it fucking easy for.
And by the way, hometown discounts don't exist anymore, right?
No, they don't. Fuck no. No, it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Like we have to change something here. And I don't know what it is. I like the proposal that I said, but maybe there's other things out there that I don't know of. But something has to change, dude. It's just not a good look. I don't like this. I don't like the fact that like if that's probably why there's not many fans of teams, dude. Like everyone nowadays, if you're a basketball fan, it leans more towards a player fan more than a team fan. Everyone just rides with a player rather than a team. Like because it's so hard. If you don't cheer for a historic franchise like the Celtics or the Lakers, it's like fuck, dude. Like who are you gonna cheer for the Wizards? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, like I don't want to be a jerk, but just imagine yourself being a kid. You live in Oklahoma City. Like, do you really Durant's there for a good I mean, give it to Durant. He was there a long time. At least he wasn't there like 4 years. Like I feel like once you get that first contract, you're in the NBA for 4 years, right? Then you get to sign an extension. Guys never see that extension through anymore. Like, say what you want about LeBron, Durant, they're lame. They left their teams. Hey, they hit free agency. They never requested a trade. They at least went 9 years respectively with their franchises. Who's that guy now, Juan? Like, what guy? Like, you think John Moran will be on the Grizzlies for 10 years? You think Zion will be on the Pelicans for 9 years?
Not looking like
Anybody.
it.
I'm just saying, like, the way it is now, like, who's a franchise guy? Look at Jimmy Butler. He bounces around.
Yeah.
And I get there's different reasons, but who else?
There's only been one
who's
guy in recent NBA that has done it. It's Steph. That's the only guy that I can think of. Like Giannis,
I
we
would think
still
in
need
my
to see.
brain, Giannis would be a buck for his whole career, but I can't think that
I
anymore. You
can't.
just can't.
Yeah, I can't. I can't.
Like
I
if Giannis loses this year, I'd be like, he's gone. He's
yeah,
fucking gone. And
right.
don't get me wrong, he was with the Bucks for 10 years. But let's be real. If he was good from the start, he probably would have requested a trade because it took him 3 years just to get good.
And the only guy that I can see doing that now that I can add to this list, probably Jokic, just because his personality. Like
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he'll leave. But Steph and Jokic, that's it. You can't say that about anyone else. Everyone else is free. Like it's a go. It's a fucking go, bro. Like Chris Middleton gets hurt. Drew Holiday falls off the fucking planet this year of play. Giannis is on the fucking table. All hands on deck. And it's fucking insane to me, bro. Absolutely.
And I'm pretty sure it has something to do with Bud being fired because you know how many lifelines an NBA coach gets who wins the championship for a team like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The NBA needs some work. That's her.
Yeah. So did you see this stuff on Instagram about how
I'm up to date on Zion's baby mama. Yeah, I know what's going on.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it both ways, but I just wanted to get your opinion. So I see some fans saying that Damian Lillard, he's a villain because of what he's doing, blah blah blah.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely,
yeah, I don't think so
not.
either.
Shut up.
I don't think so. I don't think so
guys.
either. And then I seen another one that said, "What's the difference? 11 years in Portland, Dame asked for a trade request, and then LeBron James in Cleveland, 11 years and leaves the team." I know his was different because he was a free agent, but people are like, why was LeBron a villain, but Dame is not?
Well, I think LeBron was a villain because he was a hometown kid. Like, Dame Lillard's from Oakland.
Yeah.
He's not from Portland. He wasn't hyped up to be the guy to save this franchise. And LeBron did save the Cavs the first 8 years. They have never tasted any success like that before him for that level of success, that level of a player. Who was the greatest player to ever play for the Cavs one before LeBron? Mark Price. He win an MVP? Was he on Nike commercial? Did he have his own signature shoe? No. LeBron changed the city of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. Now Damian Lillard has put his heart and soul in. Like again, who expected this guy from Weber State? He had his own shoe, Dame time, successful rapper. But you know what? He doesn't like the way the team's been running. I got to be real with him. Like, Scoot Henderson's a young guy, but how does he develop if Damian Lillard's there?
Yeah.
How does Anthony Simons develop? How do these guys become stars? Anthony Simons is a good freaking player, one.
Yeah. A lot of value.
But could he ever touch his potential with Damian Lillard around? And it's not Dame's fault. It's the reality. It's like, how does Julius Randle develop when Kobe still wants to shoot the ball 30 times a game? Right? How does that happen? It simply can't. And Damian Lillard's like, hey, I'm 32. I gave you guys everything he had. He never complained. He didn't make a malcontent. You guys won series you weren't supposed to win with Damian Lillard. So honor the franchise, the best player in your franchise's fucking history, and try to get him a chip. Yeah. Is that so wrong? What's wrong with
I agree.
A guy who's been respectful this whole year? How many teams has James Harden been on? 5? It's 14 now?
Yeah.
How many
even you look at a guy, even you look at a guy like Chris Paul, Max. He's been on what, 6 teams now? 5 teams now?
Yeah. And by the way, Damian Lillard made the Trailblazers overachieve for years.
Yeah.
Like that year, the Pelicans whooped their ass in the playoffs. I mean, you were like, oh, yeah, the Blazers suck. They're not a good team. They're going to get whooped on. We were right.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of it. It's like, hey, name it. They had given Evan Turner $78 million for 4 years, and he sucks. Giving Festus Ezeli $80 million, didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
They made plenty of bad moves, and yeah, there's some good ones in there. You draft Simons, you draft CJ McCollum, but for his whole career, they have never been a true contender.
Yeah.
Not unlike the Rockets, who were true fucking contenders and couldn't get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just say this about Dame, end it off here. It's going to be really hard to trade him because Portland's already coming out. They want an all-star level compensation back. And I don't think it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not. I think they're going to get pennies
Tyler
on the
Hero,
dollar.
that'd be the best thing they could get.
Yep.
Like Tyler Hero straight up.
And I think it's gonna fucking be a long process. It's gonna be a while before we see Dame get traded. I don't think it's gonna happen in the next couple of weeks. It's gonna be a while till we see this deal.
I hope it doesn't turn sour. I hope they don't sour on each other.
Yeah, because Portland wants it. Portland, it sounds like they want something more. And we talked about this a couple episodes ago. Like, it's gonna come down to what does Portland value more? Are they gonna value the return that they get back, or are they going to value of doing him right?
So this is what I don't understand. So let's take this into consideration. So if you're trading James Harden from the Rockets, like that first time, right when he showed up fat and out of shape and shit, I would, if I'm a GM, I want $1.25 basically back for Harden. I want a little bit more because he's still in the prime of his career. I get he was fat and out of shape, right? Like he tanked his own value, but you basically want what he is and a little bit more back, right? For Harden at that point. For Damian Lillard, who's still a really good player, for what he's done for my franchise, I would be okay taking a little less. Like I said before, if the fucking Knicks gave me $1 and the Heat gave me 75 cents, I'm cool taking that just to do this guy right. Whereas if it was Harden, I wouldn't care if I did him right at all. I wouldn't care. Because he doesn't care about anybody. So why should we care?
Yeah. And like you said, he waited until the last moment. He waited for the draft. He waited for free agency. And nothing.
He never came out and said it. He didn't say, I want out. He didn't post a fucking meme like Eric Bledsoe did. He just went up to management and did it the right way. So one of the few times in the NBA where I'm like, hey, let's do the player a favor here.
Yeah, and it's a shame that he even had a tweet like about like he's always took the high road and how the fans are turning on him and saying, "Oh, you're not loyal, you're not loyal." It's
F you fans, F you. You guys are fucking lame.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Shout out to Damian Lillard. If you had to guess right now, Max, just out the dark, one team that you can put some money on for him to go to, whether Portland wants to get more or not. Who's the
I
team?
think it's going to be the Heat or the Knicks. Those are my two teams.
I would agree. I would say the Heat or the Knicks. Best value, you probably, like you said, Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, go with the Heat. Maybe for
Or
the
RJ
Knicks,
Barrett. RJ Barrett, no, take him. Take him and run.
RJ Barrett. Yeah, you're not gonna get your fucking money's worth.
It's not Carmelo when he's 27.
Yeah,
It's not that.
yeah, he's old. He's old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Any other topics you wanted to hit on? Just little
Um,
signings or trade
yeah,
rumors,
let's do
whatever it
this.
is.
I'm gonna tell you the guys who signed their 5 year like 200 plus million.
Mhm.
You tell me what you think. Desmond Bain,
Okay.
worth up to 207 million.
I love it. I had no problem with it. I like the fit. It's kind of crazy his arm length. It's fucking baffles me every time, but that's why that boy is shooter because the wing, what is it? His arm length is shorter. So
Yeah,
like
he
in
got better
2K,
three.
yeah, he got better three.
I like it, but I think you need to step up now, Bain. They put the money in you. Step up your game a little
He
bit,
did
right?
step up though. He in that Lakers series, like when John Morant
Yeah,
wasn't
he did.
playing, he
He
made some
did.
big shots for them.
Like, hey, it's time to become a fringe all-star. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? Like, this is the time.
exactly.
Like, Tyrese Halliburton won 5 for 260. I love it. I still don't know where the Pacers are headed, and it might look bad because of how bad they suck. But he's a great
Mhm.
player. Might be a little bit rich for my blood, but he's a great player. Don't mind it.
Yeah, he's all they got. I felt like they did great with that trading for him for Tyrese Halliburton. They signed a guy in Bruce Brown. I think the next domino for them to really decide where this whole thing goes is a Miles Turner trade. Let's see what
Yeah.
they can get back for him. But the Pacers are kind of in no man's land at this point. Like they're not too good to compete for a championship, but they're not too bad to tank. So
Yep.
that's you just don't want to be there. I love the player though. I love Tyrese Halliburton. Love his game.
Yeah. Sabonis 5 for 195, worth up to 217. 100%. Kings weren't
Yes.
shit. He's
Yeah.
one of the
Kings
forces
weren't
with Fox.
right. And
Don't
you
overthink
have
it.
your don't overthink it. Don't try to go outside the box. I love the fact that they re-signed Harrison Barnes.
Yep.
Sabonis, like you said, don't break it. What's the saying? Don't don't
Don't
fix it
fix
if
it
it
if
ain't
it's not
broke.
broke. Yeah,
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 don't.
100%.
You had your first winning season in a fucking very long time. Go with what you know, bro, and you can be a force in the West, man, because it's open. Besides the Nuggets, it's open.
I agree 100%. Let me see. I have one more here. How about Chris Middleton, 3 for 102? He took a little bit of a discount. I don't think that's
Yeah,
his full
and
max.
rightfully
Good for
so.
him. Yeah, he's
Rightfully so.
mhm.
It's a question mark, and the Bucks. I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe they got a Drew Holiday trade up their ass. I don't know what, but
Honestly, I think you run it back with a new coach. That's the key because I think
yeah.
Bud was really holding the ship back more than any player.
Because, like I said, their Drew Holiday bad season and then Chris Middleton breaking down away from Giannis leaving. So it's scary. It's scary for the Bucks. Hopefully, Chris Middleton can come back into playoff form like he did that championship year, and Drew Holiday stays afloat, bro. But I'm kind of scared for them.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard me. I think I might have been lagging a little bit, but I think Bud leaving is the key. I think you
Yeah,
run it back without Bud.
yeah.
Jeremy Grant, 5 for 160. Jeremy Grant is getting a little bit. I think Jeremy Grant's not overpaid. He's just not in the right position. He's not supposed to be a number one or a two on a team. He's a really good defensive Swiss knife and a really good like. If he's your third best player, like I like that. Jeremy Grant's pretty freaking good.
Yeah, it's a head scratcher for me for Portland.
I think it was a last ditch thing to get Dame. I think
Yeah.
that's what it was to keep
I
Dame, but
think he's good as getting traded these next 2 years. Hopefully he goes to an actual contender. But I would love to see Jeremy Grant in a situation like he was on Denver. I think he was like he left a year early, and it would have been great to
Aaron
see him come
Gordon's
back.
like, thanks for leaving, dude.
Right,
Thanks.
right.
This is
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly.
Uh, let's the last. I'm gonna do two more. I'll do one. Cam Johnson,
Okay.
4 for 108. Good move by the Nets. Keep him. Keep the asset.
Yeah,
He's a good
yeah.
player.
The Nets just got a bunch of solid ass players. That's
Yeah.
all they got.
They
bro.
have like all the pieces to do like a blockbuster for like a guy, and then they'll be a shitty team. Like they're like the
Right.
Knicks without Melo and
Yeah,
Amari. You know what I mean? Like they got a bunch of solid.
yeah,
One LaMelo Ball signs 5 for 260, worth up to 260, whatever it could be. I don't personally like
yeah.
it. I'm not trying to be a LaMelo Ball hater. He doesn't play enough. He made an all-star team because he's exciting and he's fun and he scores, but does he elevate the team? Is my question.
Yeah, he needs to be available. He needs to play. I love LaMelo Ball's game. I think he's worthy of that money when he's healthy. But the Hornets need more, bro. They need a splash. They need a huge splash. And with Michael Jordan leaving,
And Brandon Miller
let's
wasn't the splash I was thinking.
yeah, I thought they should have went with Scoot, but they went with Brandon Miller. So we shall see how that move turns out, man. Scoot or Brandon Miller and LaMelo, we'll see how they formed a little duo there. But it's just one of those things like Kevin Love back in the day with the Cavs. It's like you got to pay somebody, and they're paying LaMelo Ball, so it's like
Yeah.
sucky
51
teams.
games. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Juan. Sorry.
No, sucky teams don't know what to do with their money, and it's just an example of it.
Yeah, I think, and they have a new owner, and he's like, we're not letting the only good player we have go. You know what I mean? Like 51 games is for rookie year, 75 and 36. Need you to be a little more available. Like, don't get me wrong, the product's not bad, but it's a lot of turnovers. It's no defense. It's a lot of ISO scoring, but it's like, can you play winning basketball with this guy? That's my big question.
Right.
The talent's there, obviously. He's really talented.
I want to hit one more thing, and then we can end it off with there. Did you have any more?
No, I'm good. I hit everything I wanted.
Let's talk about the Mavs a little bit, man. They re-signed Kyrie to 3 years, 126 mil. They signed a guy like Seth Curry for 2 years, 9 million, which I love that.
That's a steal. I feel like they're like, we never should have let you go. Why do we ever let you go? Right.
And he has experience playing with Kyrie in Brooklyn
and
Luka. So those tandems work. What did you think about Kyrie re-signing with the Mavs?
A little more money than I thought he was going to get, one, in all honesty, like the 40, but the talent's there. The question is, how do you blend the talent together? And don't get me wrong, Kyrie's an excellent off-the-ball player and on-ball. I think he's kind of like the perfect part for Luka. But this team's still missing a defender, one, like a big 3-and-D guy that you're like, ooh, that's like a Dorian Finney-Smith would be great. I would love a Dorian Finney-Smith. I would love if somehow they could get Jeremy Grant. Yes, thank you for that. But overall, I like what they did. Like Seth Curry getting him was just really good.
Yeah, and Luka, from pictures that we have been seeing from the offseason, he's looking like skinny Luka.
Shut up.
Skinny Luka.
Yeah, Ben Simmons looks great. He's going to get ripped. Yeah, I know.
But I'm surprised that Dallas didn't really call Kyrie's bluff, man, because Kyrie was already out there. There was rumors that he was going to meet with LA.
Take the minimum. The minimum. He's getting 40 mil a year.
And there was rumors out there that he was talking to Phoenix, which I thought was absolutely insane.
Oh, I know. I was like, no fucking way. Get out of here.
Yeah, that would have been crazy with the whole history that he has with KD. And it's that shit's crazy.
I think does KD still like Kyrie? I'd be shocked. I'd be like, no way.
I'll be pretty shocked too. Yeah.
I don't think Kyrie's a bad guy. I think he gets a really bad rap. Really bad rap, personally.
Yeah. But I like it for the Mavs, man. We'll see if they can run it back year 2 and get at least to the fucking playoffs, because
it was an utter disaster. If that was the Lakers, like the Lakers were us, like everyone talked about them. No one talked about the Mavs, I felt like, compared to the Lakers.
Right. Yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it, man. There's your NBA free agency recap from the Max and Juancast in under an hour, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Like Max said, happy 4th of July weekend. Happy 4th of July. If you guys are watching this on Tuesday,
get your fingers away from fireworks is my
advice. Don't bust the
don't say come on let them go.
JPP don't end up like JPP, man. Come on, don't do it, okay. You gonna pop fireworks, man?
No, not a
No.
firework guy. No.
Yeah, I got all my firework antics done when I was a teenager, so
Yeah,
I'm good.
that's the
I'm
age.
good.
That's the age, yeah.
But we hope you guys have a great 4th of July, a safe 4th of July out there. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It helps out a bunch for the podcast, man. And Max, do you have any last words?
Not much, guys. Happy 4th. Be safe. Thank you, guys. We're going to be back more consistently now. We both got our vacations out of our system.
Exactly. All right. We'll catch y'all. Peace.